So Guild Wars 3 was just announced at Summer Games Fest, and Arenanet has finally started pulling back the curtain on what they've been working on. While we don't have the full picture yet, there's still enough here to break down and get into, so let's do just that. Here's everything we know about Guild Wars 3 so far. Guild Wars 3 is not picking up where Guild Wars 2 left off. According to what's been shared, we're going back over 1,000 years before Guild Wars 1. The game's setting takes place shortly after Grinth becomes a god, just before the first Guild War. That's all they've shared about the story so far, but going back in time gives the team a ton of stories to work with while reintroducing the world to new players. This is something a lot of people are going to want to know about, and based on what has been showed, it sounds promising. Colin, the studio head at Arenanet, has said that Guild Wars 3 will not have a subscription fee and will not have a battle pass. His reasoning, at least from what has been publicly stated, is that he views battle passes as a mass subscription and he does not want players feeling like hostages to a payment system. Now obviously we'll have to wait and see how that plays out in practice when the game releases. Colin sat down with IGN recently and touched on their approach, and the concept of horizontal progression came up. The way it's been described is that players should be able to jump in, play for a while, step away, go play other games, and come back whenever they feel like it, without feeling penalized for it. The goal, according to Colin, is that nothing in the game should be holding the player hostage or forcing them to play continuously. He framed it as a direct reflection of their design philosophy around respecting players' time. And on paper at least, that lines up with what they have said about the business model. No subscription, no battle pass, and a progression system that's not designed to press you into playing every day. As far as Arenanet's reputation goes, I believe this to be true, given their track record with Guild Wars 2. Freedom of movement and combat are two of the core pillars they briefly talked about so far. When checking out the site, Arenanet states that freedom of movement is tied to a new system that allows players to glide, ride, leap, and wall run through ore. And combat is the other pillar. During the reveal, Arenanet showed concept art, and Colin pointed to one specific piece and said it represents the kind of combat feel they are going for. Colin has said that combat is being built from the ground up with both mouse and keyboard and controller in mind. The team has described it as potentially being the next major evolution of MMORPG combat. One thing that has come up in conversation around Guild Wars 3 is how it fits alongside Ion 2, which is also being developed under NCSoft. NCSoft's chief business officer addressed this and said that while he could not reveal too much given the Guild Wars 3 is still in development, there is a directional difference between the two games. The way he described it, Ion 2 is focused on massive numbers of players, large-scale realm versus realm content where more players means more fun, and Guild Wars 3 on the other hand is being described as more focused on smaller groups where that tighter gameplay experience is what drives the fun. So at least according to NCSoft, there are two different games going after two different things, and it sounds like that split is intentional. We truly don't know what Guild Wars 3's world size is going to be on release. We don't have that information just yet. But what we can see so far is that intentionally, it's probably not being designed with as much large scale as it has been in the past with Guild Wars 2. And that is where things stand right now with Guild Wars 3. There's still a lot we don't know, and a lot of things that are going to change between now and release. But the breadcrumbs that have been dropped so far paint an interesting picture. The beta is currently targeting fall 2027, and you can sign up at guildwars3.com. If you've already signed up, drop a comment below. We'd love to know how many of you guys are planning to head back to Ore. Make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss any future coverage as more information comes out. I'll see you on the next one.